jumping on, doing a little impromptu live video during the time that we normally have our Monday master classes. Since today is Monday and I am still out in fabulous Las Vegas, I figured instead of doing a regular class with a specified topic, I would just share a recap of WBFF Worlds 2022, my weekend here in Vegas. What is going on, Nicole? Oh, you're the perfect person to be on because Nicole is on my team. She works with the same coach I work with, and she was not able to be here with us. I wish she were, though. Missed you. And so I'm going to give you a little play-by-play of how the weekend went. For everybody who asks me questions a lot of the time about competing, about the WBFF, this is for you because this was incredible. It was my first time ever coming out to Worlds, and I've seen it before from afar, but this time I got to be there in person, and I am coming back completely pumped and excited and motivated, and my momentum is just up to here, and I'm just super excited about the next stage of my prep for this year. I'm still returning to the stage, so yeah, I'll give you guys just kind of a play-by-play of how it went. What we did, Nicole already knows, we did a lot of content creating out here. Photo shoots, video shoots, all stayed together in an Airbnb and we were just shooting like all the time. It was a blast. So if you haven't seen it in my Instagram stories, go check it out there. I still have some stuff from our shoots yesterday in my stories. I will probably be creating more of a long form content like a YouTube for my YouTube, or maybe do some reels of each of the days so I can share what the whole thing looked like for anyone who didn't get to follow along during the weekend in my stories. So, all right, so let me just talk a little bit about, first of all, what is WBFF Worlds? So it is our World Championship. It is our Super Bowl for the WBFF, which is the federation where I compete. It is much more than a bodybuilding show. It is not really even a true bodybuilding show. Not the way that you might expect. It is not like the NPC IFBB, which is the biggest, more mainstream bodybuilding competitions, where you'll typically be in a convention center or auditorium type space with a makeshift stage, and everybody shows up in their rollers and their robes, and the only event of a bodybuilding show is getting on stage in your bikini, or the men in their trunks, or in their little Speedos, and posing and showing their muscles and being judged. That's basically all it is. For the WBFF, it is a completely different experience. It is a whole production, multi-day production of events, and they are red carpet, they are photo shoot, media day type events, ball gown events, gala events. It is a big deal. So every WBFF show, even all of the smaller amateur shows, to the larger amateur shows, to the pro-ams. We have amateur shows, and then we have pro-ams, so pro-amateur shows that are a combination of both. So at every WBFF show, we have a registration night athletes meeting, where if it was a typical bodybuilding federation, you would see, like I said, people showing up in hair rollers and robes, and they just basically sit. You sit in an auditorium and you get a speech, by the people running the event, and you pick up your number, and then you just go get your tan, or maybe you already got your tan, And then you go back to your room, you eat your meals, and you get ready for the show the next day or that same day. Sometimes they do those meetings early in the morning on the same day of the show. For WBFF, all of our shows have a registration night and athletes meeting, but it is very different. It is a gala. So you do have a time during that day that you will go and pick up your number and actually get checked in for the show, but you are dressed to the nines. So for anybody who's ever been in the pageant world, it's much more like a beauty pageant style of checking in all done up head to toe with whatever fashion you want during the day to pick up your registration packet and all of that. But you are showing up and showing out from the moment that you step into that hotel, the host hotel. And then that evening is a athletes meeting, but really it's a gala. So you come back in your evening gown. Some girls do some really fun, like cocktail style dresses that are more avant-garde. It is a fashion event as much as it is a fitness event. It is called the World Beauty, Fitness, and Fashion Incorporated. That is what WBFF stands for. So it is beauty pageant meets fashion show meets Victoria's Secret with theme wear, which I'll get to in a minute, and the fitness side of it. So the bikini and the fitness and the figure posing in suits and all that. So every show has that, the registration day into the gala in the evening where there's red carpet, you're in your gown, you're sitting, you're listening to the, usually it will be either the CEO or the VP, that's Paul and Allison Dillette, speaking, and then at Worlds, it takes it up another notch. So at all of the regional shows, it has the registration night, the gala. We have that at Worlds as well. However, at Worlds, it's the annual event. It is, like I said, it's our Super Bowl. So at that event, they will be doing annual awards. And these are things like Coach of the Year, Team of the Year, Model of the Year, Most Improved. They will award ambassador status to certain competitors who are really representing and promoting the brand well. So there's all kinds of recognition that happens at that at Worlds. So it's a much bigger thing. I did not come for that part of it. Since I wasn't competing, I came in Thursday evening. So I was really just coming in to be with the team and to do some content creation and to go to the main event show on Saturday. So so I didn't attend the gala for Worlds, but every show that I've competed in, I've gone to the gala. So that was Wednesday this week. It's a multi-day event at Worlds. So that was Wednesday. Thursday was what they call Media Day. They only do this day at Worlds. This is a special additional day where there is a theme. This year was black and gold. I think I'll post for you all some stuff so you can see what it looks like from what my friends and competitors were posting from Media Day. It's incredible. Like the fashion that comes out on Media Day is next level. Black and gold was the theme, and it was fabulous. So it's basically just a lot of red carpet. It's a lot of reconnecting with your friends and networking and meeting new people that you haven't met before and connecting with your team if you're on a team and your coach and your teammates. So it was incredible. I watched that on social media while I was traveling because I was traveling all day Thursday. So I got here Thursday night in the middle of a thunderstorm, by the way. It was really interesting. If you saw anything about Vegas and the flooding and everything. I got to the Airbnb in an Uber with no umbrella in the middle of a thunderstorm, and one of my now favorite people who I hadn't met before this weekend, who's on my team, Nicole Marrero, another Nicole, she took one for the team, woke up in the middle of the night, in the middle of sleeping, in her satin pajamas, and came outside with a towel over her that helped me get everything out of the car and into the Airbnb. So shout out to her, although she won't see this because this is in the group. But maybe I'll post this on my YouTube also. So she was just good people, man. I'm on a team with just the most amazing people, just cool, down to earth, really salt of the earth people who are just fun and chill and unpretentious, and just it was a really good vibe in the Airbnb. So that's media day. That happened on Thursday. Friday is basically a chill day. It is the amateur night. So the night show on Friday is an amateur show. So you can compete at Worlds as an amateur. You could be a first-time competitor and decide you want to go big and you want to go to Worlds and compete at the biggest event of the year as an amateur. Some people love and thrive on that level of competition. They want to go to the biggest show and try their hand at a pro card out the gate at a massive show. So if you're one of those people who's looking for like the ultimate test of what you can do, what you're capable of, you could do that. You could just sign up, go to your very first show at Worlds. That would be badass. If you got your pro card there, you know nobody could tell you nothing. So that was Friday. We did not go to the amateur show. We were shooting all day and all evening Friday. So my coach got a big old awesome Airbnb. I did shoot some footage of it. I can share that as well. We had a pool, jacuzzi, like really cool. Like it was just rec room, like really cool space. Cool front yard, cool backyard. Like we shot like all over the grounds. So we were doing that Friday basically. Different looks, daytime, nighttime, just shooting content, and it was a blast. I just brought a bunch of different stuff. I had no like vision for this. Like I wasn't planning for it long in advance. I just went shopping like the week, maybe a day or two before I left, and was like, I'm just gonna go shopping and see what feels good for me. And I bought a few things, bought some bikinis, bought some shorts, some fancier stuff to wear to the show and shoot in. So if you saw some of my looks, that was all stuff I randomly picked up, y'all, at a thrift store. A lot of it came from a thrift store, and some of it came from Ross. So look, you can create magic without breaking the bank. I'm not the girl who is out there, wearing Gucci and stuff. I don't own anything designer. So if you think that you have to be like a millionaire to do this, you don't. I save my cash for show registration, the gowns, the bikinis, all the things that are going to cost a lot more, and that is for competing. So when I'm doing shoots, I don't break the bank for stuff like that. Nicole's like, why? You look so amazing too. Yeah, exactly. Nobody needs to know. Yes, thrift stores. And you can get some designer stuff at thrift stores if you go to the right places. Somebody was just telling me, like, they go and find, like, the best neighborhoods and go to the thrift stores in the best neighborhoods because you get consignment. You get designer consignment stuff that people give away. So there's a little pro tip. Okay, so that was Friday. We basically just... Yeah, Michelle, I need to shop in Baltimore, lol. Yeah, it was a little store around my way, and I don't even know my way around Columbia yet. I just happened across it. I was like, oh, there's a thrift store. I'm going in there. Get some good stuff. So that was all day Friday, all night Friday shooting, and then Saturday. Most WBFF shows, this is another difference between WBFF and NPC or other other bodybuilding federations. WBFF usually does not have a morning show. They only do one show. So most bodybuilding shows, you will do a prejudging round in the morning. And that is where most of the judging is done. And then in the evening show, it is to present again any final decisions that the judges may not have made in the morning show, they will make by looking at the physiques in the night show. And it's really more for everybody who comes out to support, to see the full show. WBFF, for all of the non-worlds shows, only does an evening show. So you will only have to go on stage once. You're not doing prejudging. For Worlds, it's the only show where they do a prejudging, and it's only for the pro show. So the amateurs don't do a prejudging, they just have a night show. Saturday morning is prelims. This is where there's a prejudging for the pros. And they come out and they just do the bikini round or the trunks for the men, the trunk, yeah, the trunks, I think they call them anyway. They just do the physique round, basically. In the evening show, they come back out in the bikinis and the briefs, and they do the physique show, and then they all come back out again in fashion round. And this is where the men are going to wear those fabulous suits. I love to see the men's fashion. It's always one of my favorite things. And the women are going to come out. If you're in bikini or wellness, you come out in a gown, like a beauty pageant. If you are fitness or figure, you come out in theme wear. And y'all, this is the reason I joined WBFF. I love the theme wear round. I have never got to do it because I've never been in fitness or figure. I started in bikini, and then I switched to wellness, and wellness is what I do now. So I'm still wearing gowns on stage, but my ultimate goal is to build enough to where I can get into the fitness and then the figure category eventually. If you're wondering what the differences are, because I get this question a lot, the bikini is going to have the least muscle development, and it's typically going to be less hard, less shredded. So it doesn't have like that striated muscle look. And particularly in WBFF, it is not as lean as what you will see in another bodybuilding federation. In BCI, you can get very, very lean, very small. WBFF, you usually see fuller bodies, like ladies that have a little bit of curves. They like the commercial look. So they like you to look more like you could be on the cover of a magazine rather than this incredibly unrealistically lean look. So what's really cool about the bikini division is you see a lot of different types of physiques on stage. Everybody doesn't look exactly the same. That is something you see in a typical bodybuilding show is you might not even be able to tell people apart on stage from afar. They all have their hair done the same way. They all have a lot of the same color bikinis. The style of bikinis are all very similar in a typical bodybuilding show. WBFF, all of the bikinis are designer couture bikinis. It is a fashion bikini. It is not just a blingy triangle top with connectors and blingy bottoms with connectors. It is avant-garde. You might see things across the neck, jeweled everywhere. I will share some pictures because you'll see. I'll show you like a half and half. You can see like NPC versus WBFF, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It is fashion, high fashion bikinis. So everybody really gets to bring their personality to the stage, not only through their bikini choice, but their body type, their natural body type. They don't have to force themselves into a body type that's not natural for them. The lineup this year, it was really incredible to see the different types of bodies, and I'm really excited to have seen Yasleen to win the title, the world title in open bikini. She is very curvy, voluptuous, think Marilyn Monroe. Her personality is off the charts. She is just, you cannot take your eyes off of her. And I wasn't sure which way it was going to go because I thought it might go to the winner last year, Anna, who is also incredible. I mean, her physique was insane this year. Just how tight and well-conditioned her body was. I just wasn't sure which way it would go because they're two completely different body types. And I'd heard that WBFF was going in a direction of where they wanted to see you a little bit softer and fuller. So I'm actually really happy to see where it went this year and that they selected Yasleen. It means that they truly do want that kind of healthier, more realistic look, commercial look. So cheers. well done, WBFF. And also, I mean, she just has this incredible full package. And that's what WBFF is all about. It's the full package. You get judged just as much, if not more. Actually, I think the criteria is a little bit more for your full stage presence, marketability, beyond just your physique. The other thing is you don't have to do mandatory poses in WBFF. You get to create your own routine for stage that brings out your personality and shows your body off the best. So you work with a posing coach, just like any other federation. It's really important to work with a posing coach. And you figure out, you design a routine that accentuates all of your best features. And then you have a ton of fun on stage, just moving around. They don't want you to just hit poses. It is about modeling. You are strutting your stuff on a runway, you are walking it out, and you are posing your butt off, just turning and moving. And it is a dancer's place. So that's another reason why I just had to go to WBFF, because I'm a dancer and I want to move and I don't want to be told how I have to move my body. So if you've ever thought about competing and that's something that's important to you, to have your individuality and to be able to show who you are on stage and not get lost in trying to look like somebody else, then WBFF might be the place for you. Okay, so I went off on a long tangent, but that is the morning show's preliminaries. The evening show is where you get to do the gowns and the theme wear. So that is what we did. We all went to the morning show. I really wanted to see the prelims so I could see like what everybody's bringing to the table and all of the physiques and really focus on that. So I could study it for myself and for where I want to be, which category I want to be in, and what they're looking for. I really wanted to be able to see, like, when I see who wins, connect it with what I saw in the preliminary round and not just what I saw in the evening round. What I will say is kind of interesting that I noticed from the morning to the evening is some of the physiques actually looked better in the evening show. So whatever they did during the day probably had a cheat meal, probably had some sodium, higher fats or higher carbs or both, and came in just looking tighter and fuller in the evening show. I think I've been asked before about peaking for a show or for a photo shoot or for a vacation even, like peaking your body the way we do for bodybuilding shows. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know and I'll do a masterclass on how we do peak weeks, why we do it that way, and what you might be able to take from that to make your body look the best you can for a special event. Because that's exactly what happened there in the morning. Some people just looked a little flat, looked a little unconditioned, and then came in looking a lot more conditioned by the evening show. So that was Saturday. That was the main event. Saturday is the main event. The evening show, they start with a red carpet. The contestants come out. All the crown holders come out. All the title holders come out. They do a red carpet. That all happens before stage call, and then the main event is a big to-do. At Worlds, they do all of the physique round for all of the categories, and then they bring out the transformation division. And the transformation division is unique to the WBFF in that if you are a person who's had a major weight loss, we had cancer survivors sharing their stories, different diseases or injuries or recoveries that people are sharing. You get to come out and share your whole story on stage. Not only do you get to walk in a gown, you don't have to wear a bikini. I don't think they were doing any bikinis. I think it was just all evening gowns. And they put your story up on the screen behind you. So we all get to actually hear your whole story, which is so cool because we don't get to do that with the other competitors. So if anybody who has been through that would be interested in something like that, it's an incredible place where you can go and be recognized. And I'll tell you what, it brings the audience to tears, standing ovations. They at Worlds, they do a overall winner champion of the transformation division. My good friend JC won it last year, 2 years ago. He lost over 200 pounds and just had such an incredible story. And I was blessed to be able to meet him at his first show in Atlanta, and then he got to go to Worlds. They gave him a free registration to go to Worlds and share his story there, and then he won the title. So it brings the house down every time. It is, most of us, it's just our favorite part of the show. Girl, Nicole, you should totally do transformation. It would be amazing. And if you do, I think I've seen them do this. I think they do this at every amateur show. You can go and do transformation, and usually they will award a Worlds registration for you to go to Worlds, so then you can go to Worlds and present again and compete for the title. So that would be incredible. It's a great first entree if you had any kind of transformation into the WBFF. So that was incredible. And then they do the amateur awards. So then they'll bring the amateurs back out. They'll do the awards and award pro cards right there at the main event before they do the awards for the pros. And then the pros do their second stage call, which is the evening gowns and the theme wear, which is always so much fun to see the theme wear. So creative, incredible things being brought to the stage. I saw one of my favorites this year was Max West, who is just, she is in media herself. She's a photographer, she's a media artist, and an incredible model. And she came out in a Snow White costume with the apple and everything. It was really cool. So there's like everything from carnival style, the wings, the feathers, the, props. It is next level. Eventually I will do theme wear. Eventually I have to get to that category so I can do that. But I have to say, I think my absolute favorite part of the show for me this time was the figure competitors. In my journey, I have really gone through, early on I was competing for the reason that many women do, and that is just to lose weight. Wanting to lose weight and get in shape. And it was all about being smaller, being leaner, being tight, being, losing fat. And then when I shifted my perspective to gaining muscle, my own body image changed. I stopped looking at bodies that were not realistic for me. And I started looking at bodies that were attainable for me. Women whose body types matched mine, that were just a little bit farther than I was. And so it's always been about getting to that next place for me. And looking at the figure women, to me, that's what separates the women from the girls. These women were specimens. When I say, I was so inspired by the figure division. I am going to show you some of these physiques because, wow, my jaw was on the floor. The other thing about this year that was really special is that this is the first year since before the pandemic that our international women were able to travel to the US again. So we had Australia back, we had the UK back, we had South Africa, it was incredible. These women out of the UK and Australia in particular are just built different, okay? They are built different, y'all. These bodies, I was just on the floor. I was fangirling like nobody's business. So we had some of these incredible physiques back that we haven't seen since 2019. And that, to me, is what lit my fire beyond more than anything ever in my life. I will be doing this for the rest of my life because eventually I want to get to that level. So that just ignited my fire, and I am ready to go so hard for this prep, finish out this year, and crush it in December. If you haven't heard me talk about the show that I'm doing, I'm 16 weeks out. I've got a beautiful runway to like go freaking hard for 16 weeks. And if you've seen any of my updates, you've seen like I'm pretty lean right now. I'm feeling really good. I'm nowhere near show lean. And a lot of people thought I was competing this weekend and were complimenting me, and I so appreciate that, and I love you. But this is not show lean. This might look good walking around the streets, maybe the beach, but it's not what it takes. And I'll tell you what going to this show and seeing these next level physiques, first of all, a pro show is so next level. After getting a pro card, most of us just getting the pro card are nowhere near. We're light years away from where we need to be to compete at that level as a pro. So you got to take some time to really dig deep, build, cut right, so you can really compete at that next level. Then when you do that, like when I did my first pro debut in 2020, I was like deer in headlights. I was like, wow, I was not ready for this. I need some more time. So now it's been 2 years, and I'm about to bring the freaking fire. So my next show is 16 weeks, December 3rd in Atlantic City, and here's my goal, and this is what I was already quoted twice on this. This is what I'm telling everyone. I will be unrecognizable in 16 weeks. My goal is to show up on that stage and have everybody say, who is that? Because they will not recognize me. They will not know. They'll be like, who is she? She came to play. We are not playing games. 100% all in, go time, laser beam focus. So that's what I'm walking away from this weekend with. But that was not the end of the weekend. That was Saturday. We got to watch our girl compete, Sydney. She made her pro debut in fitness. She is a former NPC girl. She held her own. That was an incredibly stacked class. To me, the two toughest classes are fitness open and figure. It was literally anyone's game in both of those. I didn't even know who they were going to select. Okay, fitness. Stephanie Ayala McHugh, 5-time now champion. She had 4 crowns already, world titles. She was going for her 5th. To me, hands down, already knew she was going to take it again. But the other of the top 3 and top 5, I had an idea, but it really could have gone anyway because it was a full stage of absolutely incredible physiques. So honestly, it was not a show where I was looking around thinking this person shouldn't be there. It was 100% like stacked. So proud of Sydney for the way she showed up and showed out. And she's the sweetest person. And I got to meet all my team members I'd never met before in person. Only known them on social media up until now, including my coach. So it was just incredible to spend the whole weekend with my coach and my team, getting to know people better. And after the show Saturday, we went out so Sydney could get her post-show meal, overlooking the strip. It was just chill. It was a lot of fun. I had already had my macros for the day, so I was just drinking my water with lime, listening to the music, chilling, posting my stories if you saw me posting. And then Sunday, Sydney came by. She did a bunch of shoots. Mel, another one of our team members, came by, did some shooting. Me and Nicole had already shot Friday, so we were waiting. And then basically a bunch of us went out to the desert and did this incredible desert shoot. That was probably the highlight of my whole weekend. Absolutely incredible sunset shoot on the desert. I cannot wait to get that footage back, that final cuts, because it was, I was feeling the vibes. I just started dancing. Like the dancer in me came out. I was just dancing in the desert in front of the camera. So that was a blast, absolute blast. Also I got to do a posing session with my coach in person, which was amazing because normally I do all of that virtually with him. So that was fantastic, really, really helpful for me to learn my, transitions that are going to show my body best. We eliminated some of my weaker poses and focused on the more powerful ones. So it was just really helpful to have that. And he was just making me feel like $1,000,000. So I feel so much more confident in my posing now after that. And then after the desert shoot on Sunday, we went out to the strip and did a shoot. And what was so cool about this, one of our other teammates, Linnea, she was out in Tahoe she switched over from WBFF to NPC. And she's been killing it in the NPC circuits, doing well in wellness, which is my category. She's really grown her legs since I first met her. I met her at my pro debut, and it was her first WBFF Pro show. We were buddies backstage in 2020 in Miami. She took second that year, and then went on to win the crown in fitness in WBFF at the Orlando show the following spring. And then she crossed back over to NPC, and she has been in wellness. So she's built her legs up, looking incredible. She's killing it in these shows. She won the Tahoe show, which is a really big show, really incredible show. She won the overall. We were sitting there. It was crazy because we were in the audience for the main event for the WBFF World while her show was going on. Marcus had it going, my coach on his phone. So we're literally like watching both of his competitors, one in person, one on the screen, and she just kept winning. She won her class. We were like, okay, she won the overall. We were like going crazy for her. So she flew out to Vegas Sunday, came with us on the desert shoot, and y'all, it was her dream shoot was to do the Vegas strip. She had her theme wear with her. So she put on her theme wear. She looked like a showgirl. We went out to the strip, did a shoot with her, me and Nicole and her, out on the strip. It was our last shoot of the night, and it was freaking fantastic. You had guys like asking to take pictures with her. It was just a blast. So, oh my God, I can't wait to show y'all the photos and the videos from that. It was just such an incredible time. So that was the last late night last night. I did not sleep. I think I went to sleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning Vegas time, which is 5 a.m. Eastern. Everybody else had red eyes, so we literally went straight from the strip to drop Nicole at the airport and Linnea at the airport. Her husband was flying in. They were getting their vows renewed here in Vegas. It was just such a special thing for her. So, gosh, it was just like, for me, like the most important thing in these things is the connection, the human connection. And I'm a person who, as much of a introvert as I can be, and I love being an online coach because I don't have to go to an office, I don't have to like make small talk with people, but I love deep connection, like true, real, like soul connections with people. And that's what this weekend was for me. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, y'all, I just joined this team and just started working with this coach a few months ago when I decided not to do the Bahamas show. And it just felt right for me from the moment I started communicating with him. And Nicole Leak in the group was already working with him. And of course, like I reached out to her and I was like, hey, give me your thoughts. And like, I was just like, you know what? I think this is the right coach for me. It seems right. I've had a little bit of interaction with the team, like on social media, but this is my first time meeting everybody in person, and it was just, I'm 100% in the right place with the right people doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I have a really good feeling about December. I do not care what happens in December. I am not competing to get a crown or a title. I am competing to create the absolute best physique that I can create to, as Marcus, my coach, says, reach my full potential. He sees, like, it's so amazing how he can see what I can't see. And I know those of you who work with me as clients, you say this to me all the time, like, I know you see it and I don't see it yet. And to me, that is a huge part of what being a coach is. We hold the vision for you until you can see it for yourself. And that's what Marcus does for me. So, he always talks about reaching my full potential. So that is what this is about for me. This is about taking my physique to a level I've never seen it and nobody else has ever seen it. And then continuing to move forward from there. The stuff doesn't stop, y'all. It never stops. We never, ever stop growing. We should never stop growing as individuals, as people, and we should never stop growing muscles, ladies. So I've just been ranting and raving this whole time. Does anybody have any questions about, the weekend, about Worlds, about WBFF, about anything that I just shared while I'm on live with you? I might as well take any questions because that's basically a wrap. After we did those shoots, everybody else flew out in the middle of the night on red eyes, and I have a whole day here. I had some client calls today, and I'll be going through your check-ins. So if you sent me a check-in and I haven't gotten back to you yet, now you know why. I will be doing so later this evening until I probably crash on the plane. I have a red eye tonight, so basically I got a hotel room. Had to be out of the Airbnb, so I got a hotel room. Switched over here, took my calls, and I'm probably going to try to go lay by the pool and do some check-in responses if the weather holds out. It's looking a little cloudy. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just chill in the bed. We'll see. Or just go outside and take a peek, do some people watching. And then my flight flies out at 12 or 12:30 in the middle of the night, so I'll probably leave around 9:30 to head to the airport and head back to the East Coast. Kitty, glad to have you on here. I'm on your time zone right about now. My body is like so freaking confused with me right now. It's like, not only did we change time zones, I had a long layover in Minneapolis on the way here, so it was just like all these different time zones and all this different activity and later nights than I'm used to at home anyway, but then add 3 hours, so it's just my body hasn't even figured out what's going on. So when I get home, I'm sure there will be an adjustment. Either that or maybe I just made my body so confused it'll just fly right back into our regular routine, hopefully. Jennifer. Hey, maybe I can twist your arm into doing a transformation division one of these days. That could be fun. Awesome. Well, I've been yapping for about 45 minutes, so I'm going to let you all have your nights back. And we'll be back on our regular schedule next week with our regular master classes. If there's a topic you really want to see, drop a comment, drop a post in the group and ask for it, or DM me and ask me for a topic. I've got a list going, so I'll pick one for our next masterclass and get that scheduled, and I will see y'all live next Monday, and in the meantime, I will see you in the group. Have a good night. Peace out from Vegas.